victory. We got past the first hurdle. Wow. We got past the first hurdle, and then the second hurdle is my words. Damn those hurdles.
Hurdles.
Hi, Stuart.
Hi, Samuel.
We are back once again.
Yes, we are.
But joining us today is Bleep. As you all know, Bleep has a long career with Star Trek in the Bleep department before became promoted to the Bleep, and then utilising the best Bleep of the Bleep, created the Bleep that you saw on screen in Star Trek Bleep. So, for those of you that know about the Bleep, I just want to round of applause. I mean, without Bleep, we never had Star Trek Bleep. So hey.
Yeah. Well, that's right. I am Cap Bleepton. Bleepton.
Oh my God! It's Captain Foley, the censor. It was you the whole time.
Those are going to be like new cosplay.
Sure.
The redacted characters.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you have Sims by putting a diamond on your head, What do you think of my bullshit there? My spiel about Bleep. I think it quite well.
That's good.
You all bought it, right?
Bleep, 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 bleep.
Well, that sounds more like Pike. Oh, poor Pike.
Yeah. Anywho, guys, we're here to talk about our favorite.
Not to delve down Pike for a second, but the fact that Lower Decks showed that even after like an extra 150 years, the Pike disease still hasn't been fixed. So, Pike, if still alive, would still be doing not so great for a while. Oops. Sorry, Pike.
Yeah, it's a shame. Yeah, today we're going to talk about our favorite references in this last episode of Lower Decks. So you guys hopefully will join in. Super chats are greatly welcome. We already have 3 of them, which is great. But if you could include your own, we have to read it. And we have to kind of say what you want us to say in there. And point out anything that you really liked. If we miss anything as far as a reference that you might have got that we didn't, let us know. By all means, let's have a conversation.
Yeah, because we want to give a lot of credit to Lower Decks, and this episode especially sort of doubled down on the idea of using the universe. And the word reference is one thing, but I think just using the universe is a better way of saying, wow, so much stuff. Especially I said for the J.J. Abrams films, is that, they invented a billion new aliens. I think they pat themselves on the back when they did Beyond for 50 new alien races for 50 years. And I'm like, great. You remember one, and that was a lady with the head because she had a thing. Completely unmemorable, completely who cares. Whereas if they'd said 50 old races and 50, if you include 50 original Trek races in the film, that would get you more kudos. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 50 canon references or 50 Easter eggs.
Yeah, and then Lower Decks, has them in spades. They don't need to invent a new race. They can show an old one, or if they want to use a new one, they can, a la the Almost Killed Boy in episode 3. Or 2. Yeah. Or any episode, he's always killed a few times.
Yeah, Trope on Wombat says, when was the Gorn wedding? Did you not watch the last episode?
Then spoilers.
It was at the end of Rutherford's... Yeah, it was in the Rutherford's mission after the warp sled crashed.
Well, spoilers. Spoilers of warp...
Spoilers.
There's a lot... Yeah, I mean, as we say, don't watch these things unless you've been spoiled by actually watching it. But we embrace those that can join us.
Let's read the 3 super chats we got because they're great.
Awesome.
Ozzy Maderos, $5. All hail the Superior Commander and Super Captain Foley. Q is here. Okie dokie. Skeleton hands.
Q was here.
Judge 1981, $10.
Ooh.
This is for the moderator chat swear jar and being fined 1 credit apiece. Now you fabulous bunch, swear to hit that like button, super chat, and enjoy the wonderful and amazing Trek yards.
Bye. I like it.
And Fleet Paw Swiftback, $5. Fleet Paw Swiftback has been fined 5 credits for violating the verbal morality statute due to the bleeping idiot who cut him off this afternoon. And Samuel, all the bleeps that you said in your bleeping intro were bleeping awesome, and you're gonna have to be fined some credits, I think, if those are all swear words. Were they? No?
No, it's true. It was redacted information.
Oh, okay.
It's stuff they should know because they were there watching Star Trek Bleep. But I mean, hey, if you didn't watch Star Trek Bleep, it's not my job. You didn't watch Star Trek Bleep. Go watch Star Trek Bleep right now on Bleep. The Bleep Network. Only Bleep a month.
It's a true story. So as you see, guys, the super chats are great, and
Pop out
if
for
you can,
1 second.
yes, it helps out the channel and all that jazz. You know the routine. He's not sharing it yet, so I'm not going to go through my whole spiel, but I mean, they're important and stuff. So if you can, please do. Just be part of the conversation, and we hope to have a good time hanging out with you guys. 60 people watching with 39 likes. That's awesome, but we can easily hit 50. We can hit 50 likes with 61 people watching. So let's do it, and let's get those likes up, guys. That's another great way to help out as well. So if you can, please do.
So what I'm saying is I should share. That's what I'm saying.
You should probably share.
Okie dokie. See you later.
Bye.
Bye bye.
I can talk to these guys about super chats and things because it's important stuff because it helps the channel, as we've talked about previously. So yeah, so also guys, check out the Teespring store. Some really cool Trek merchandise in there, or you can head on over to Patreon/TrekYards. That's a great way to help us on a monthly basis. And another fantastic way to help us monthly is to go to join the channel, just down beside the subscribe button there. Hit that join button and you can join the rank of commander, captain, or admiral, and instantly outrank us if you choose to. That lets us know on the regular chat that you're a supporter. Highlighted. We tend to read out your comments a little bit more, and we also get a badge beside your name. It tells us how long you've been a member or a supporter of the channel. So plus you get to use cool emojis and stickers and stuff in the chat. So if you can do that, please do. I really appreciate it. But yeah, super chats are a great way to instantly show your support, get your comment highlighted, your name read out, your comment read, your question answered. Make us say whatever you want us to say, ridiculous or not. And they really show us like instantly that the support's there, which is awesome. So, but there are many ways to support. So just check the description of every video. There's links down there for various other cool stuff, and it's definitely worth checking out. So also, I'm going to be getting back to Captain's Logs hopefully soon, and I want to do the first one as a Q&A. So on the Facebook, TrekYards Facebook page, one of the top posts is from me, and it's a Q&A post. So put in a question or comment that you'd like me to read on a Captain's Log Q&A. You can ask questions about anything, doesn't have to be Star Trek related. So just put it in there, and you have until Friday to get that in, and then I will do a video, and it'll be out probably the following Friday. So stay tuned for that, guys. If you have any questions you'd like to ask, you can either do it via super chat here, or you can put it in there and get your comment or question read that way as well. So lots of great ways to help us out and just kind of find out what's going on with us. You have drawn my attention, but since it says ceremonial nibbling is now canon. Ziango 76 Gorn outfits provided by Flintstone of Rebel and Rebel of Bedrock. Beantown Brown, has Lower Decks been renewed for season 2? It has, actually. They were just finishing up filming season 2 when we were talking to Mike McMahon for our interview. So yes, they were deep into it. So hopefully it'll be out sometime in the near future. Project Achieve, I like the Gorn eyes. Yeah, the Gorn eyes are pretty cool.
How are we going, everybody?
Good.
Oh. Yes. Anyone have their favourites yet? Have we heard some favourites?
No.
Oh.
Somebody said Project Achieva said he liked the Gorn eyes, and they are pretty cool.
Is that what they look like in TOS?
Yeah, they kind of had that prismatic shimmer, but they added blinking for the remastered. So I mean, I didn't notice if any of these blinked. I would hope they would have, but
Yeah, I didn't remember. I mean, I've seen the Intimate Darkly Enterprise model, and I don't remember these eyes being a thing.
Well, that was different. The Intimate Darkly Gorn is a little bit different.
Well, yeah,
probably from a different continent than these guys.
He's more the warrior class rather than the commander class, even though he was the guy that also helped run the. Yes.
Yeah.
But they don't,
And the ones in the JJ Star Trek 2009 video game.
they're the stabby
also,
class.
Yeah, they're very different as well. So
Super deadly.
anyway, yeah.
Long tails. But so we're going to go through in time order, because unlike most of these episodes, where there's a few fun ones, this is absolutely peppered with them. So we can literally go through the entire episode and pick out references from the big to the small to the ugly to the beautiful, etc., etc. Because there is such a broad spectrum. And obviously, one of the proud moments that I can say I predicted going in, the trial, the non-linear storytelling. I was pretty happy with that Eurekid, and as we talked about this earlier today. But yes, the trial is obviously a visual link to the Star Trek 6 trial, which is then visually shown, but to a lesser budget extent in Enterprise.
Yes.
I mean, if it had been a brown or a green or a blue color, it would have been less Klingon-y, obviously. But the spikes, even the way that the silhouettes of the people could easily be mistaken for Klingons. So clearly, they're creating a vibe, and as you said on review, the fact that they're obviously mega deliberately, but it gives the visual storytelling that says, "Ooh, we're in for this." That obviously, having not done this, you'd have to go a certain way, but this allows for a sense of "ooh" straight away.
It was kind of a cheat though, because it's like instantly like, ooh, it's a trial. Look at this. Like, there's the judge, there's the spectators or whatever. Whereas if it was unique to this alien race that was different, we might not know it was a trial, because it's not supposed to be a trial. We're supposed to be led to believe it's a trial, and so are our main characters, when it's really not. So it is kind of a cheat in the way they did it. But I forget who said that. I think it's Mariner. She says this is like or Boimler. This is like Alien Trial 101.
Yeah.
All the little cliches. So,
and also, I'm pretty sure the
it
other
was
guy,
a bit of a cheat in my opinion.
and the other guys say, "Oh, this is nothing to what Klingons would do." Doesn't he say? Like, "Oh, this is nothing but the Klingons."
Oh yeah, well yeah, this is like a resort compared to what
Yeah.
the Klingon prisoners have to. Yeah.
Which is probably also a sense of, this ain't too bad.
Yeah. Judge 1981 puts in $2, up to 50 likes already. Let's go for 75. We have 84 people watching with 54 likes, which is awesome. So keep hitting that like button, guys.
Yes.
And you have drawn my attention, puts in $2. This is filming for an animated series. Well, they have to film the animated cells, because I don't know if they still do that, the cell art where they have to use the camera and get the screen cap, and then they put the next cell down, and I don't know if they still do that. I don't know how they animate things anymore.
In
but it's
3D
still called filming.
Yeah, in 3D animation, you'd actually use motion capture, so you'd film people, which then translate that into digital models, etc. For a CG like this, you wouldn't need that. But you still have to film the actors via audio, which would be called record, but you could also argue, you could say filming. But yeah, I mean, it's just a shorthand,
Even filming isn't filming. Like, even the filming we do for Trek Yards isn't filming. They're not using
videoing
film.
would be the
correct one. Yeah, the old monikers have kind of rolled over. we still have recording and things like that. So I don't know. It's kind of a odd situation.
I mean, it's fine. I'm happy to keep those classic things. It works. Why fix it?
I agree.
But I mean, if they were smart, obviously they would film some behind the scenes while they're recording, because that stuff's priceless. Or we just hope that they are either gifted or they already have extremely good at home recording audio microphones, because it does make a big difference the level of audio depending on which microphone. So hopefully they have good. Because like we've said, I want season 2 straight away. I want them to, make it, release it, have it on my desk by Monday morning.
Well, they were filming it when we were talking to Mike McMahon for our interview.
Well,
they were kind of halfway through.
I was prepping season 2, because I know they were writing it like 5 weeks ago. But I mean, if they have,
They said that they're about halfway through the process of whatever they were doing at the time.
Oh, well, that's
that
true.
being said, so
yeah, I mean, you'd film the actors later in the process. You want to have animatics anyway, so yeah, they've probably written it, started to build it, tweaks, but obviously then from the animatics to finals, there's a lot of steps. Though this sort of animated style, especially like on the Veritas itself, the set geometry is already built. It's a lot easier, it's a lot quicker. then it's up to the creatives. That's why this episode is quite special, because there's so much extra geometry, as in even just its 2D geometry is created fresh, all has to be custom made, etc. And in fact, one I just noticing on this chap, this close up, because this is drawn. I mean, it's CG drawn, but it's not 3D. The guy has a black rim around his body to help highlight him for the background, even though black is black. But because he's being hit by a spotlight, part of the black is now shiny. So the black outer line of his body is actually shiny. Like, that's interesting to kind of give some pop from the background. I never noticed that before, but they all have. Yeah, I mean, I guess I have to. It's just an interesting like effect touch there. Byproduct of the process. That's cool.
Yeah, I don't know if these aliens like know their party rooms are similar to a courtroom for a Klingon. I don't know if they're aware of that, but I mean, yeah, it's kind of mean of them to do it that way to the audience, to say like, hey, look, this is obviously trial. Guess what? It's not. It's like, really, guys, really?
Yeah.
Should have just been Klingons at that point, you know?
Yeah, I mean it's yeah. I mean, you wonder, and obviously we'd love to hear more about this race, and they put active death threats in a situation where no one's at threat of death. Yeah, but next reference, and I'll like jump to the next one, because these are two ones that I like. The Chang, I mean the wrong eye, but clearly a Chang reference.
Yes.
And then the armor's Klingon-y. He has a sword, not necessarily practically used, but he has a sword. You know, you just link these visual things, and you know, clever yet different, and different enough.
Yeah.
So next one I have is the Khan and what's his name?
Rogar Danar.
Yeah, there we
Rogar
go.
Danar.
I'll be back in another second, guys, so you can talk about that one, and you guys tell us what you think.
Yeah, the reference to the episode The Hunted from TNG, where he was leading the Enterprise crew on kind of a merry chase on their own ship. Samuel really likes that one, so that was a good reference. And then comparing him to Khan, and the space seed was mentioned. He's just a space seed or whatever. Interesting way to put in the title of the episode. And I'm glad they didn't do it with Sub Rosa later, but I mean, you know, it is what it is. You know, that whole thing was kind of great. And then Tendi, like, oh, his thick chest. And then she had to go to the washroom. So, so referring to the TOS episode as well as the movie was quite interesting. So, yeah. And Samuel's just busy. He's killing crane flies because they're all in his house. That's why if he's looking up like that, that's what it is. So he's being an exterminator. Which here they're called mosquito hawks. They're not called crane flies at all. So he's got a little Hoover, as he calls it, or a vacuum cleaner, and he's sucking them out of the air. So he doesn't want you to see that, obviously. So don't tell him I told you. It's a secret. Shh. Quiet. All right. So Fleet Paw, he's coming back now. So just be quiet, guys. We didn't talk about that. Fleet Paw puts in $2. More security. More security. Yes.
Yeah. No, this is good. I mean, like I said, this is a bit too much of the space seed. Chest is fine, but a bit silly.
The space seed was nicely dropped, though. Like, he's just like a space seed or something. She didn't say, like,
what does that even mean?
Incident with space seed. I don't know. See, that's the thing. It doesn't have a real meaning, so it's kind of funny.
It is the future. Maybe it's an Orion, phrase. And that's what I was pointed out wonderfully. Why is a medical doctor working on a shuttle?
She's just there to study the anxiety and the whatever of the people working on the shuttle. She's scanning them for readings. That's all there is to it.
I'd buy that. I would. But I think at this point we've already moved on from the idea that they actually have different assignments. Because they all sleep together in the same bunk. And they'll hang out. So I think, they just shift together. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I like throwing these hardcore references in, but then again, throwing such a softcore reference is pretty fun too.
Yeah, even the shuttle they're working on, like the old Goddard class shuttles, Type 6.
Yeah.
I really like that. I wonder if that's going to come in handy at some point where they need to like, because it's been in this base since the beginning of the show.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if it's just like a training one, like, you know, when you go to a shop class in high school where they have like an old car sitting there and they rip the car apart and rebuild it every semester for all the students. I wonder if it's the same kind of thing here, or if there's actually something wrong with the shuttle that they want it fixed.
Yeah,
It's dirty.
It's pretty much gone. It looks as if the hull is basically the new shuttle, but also the engines are clearly the old type shuttle model. So it's kind of it's a weird one.
Yeah,
it's a weird one.
Dave Stelzer, $2. Maybe shuttles have bioneural gel packs. No, I wouldn't buy that. Not a good reason for her to be there. And I know Jill, she's not a doctor, she's just a medical aide, but still, what does she do? Just wander around with these guys all day? Like, she'd be in sick bay. She'd be doing things that in her field, you know?
It just shows how lack of busy. I mean, to be fair, yes, a doctor, you know, is obviously not necessarily as busy as he could be, or she could be. But yeah, it'd be nice if they even just pretensed. Because you even find if she walked in on a lunch break or something, but she's clearly working on the shuttle, which doesn't really. But yes, binaural, sure, but again, she's not qualified for that, you know. But
Still,
hey,
it's technical kind of thing. It's not really a medical kind of thing.
yeah,
We saw in Voyager a few times that, you know, I thought there'd be more with that on Voyager, but it was actually
well, it worked
just as much as it should have been. It wasn't overused or underused. So
it worked because it was good tech. But next you have the Star Trek 09 pose, beam in with a vengeance.
yeah,
Doesn't mean much, doesn't add much, doesn't detract either. It's just like, oh, bit different.
it adds to the mystery of all the stuff we don't see in this episode that we really want to see. It's like what happened that it facilitated. Was she ducked under a table? Did she thank them for the map and then they pulled out weapons? So she ducked under the table with the map and got beamed out. And why beam directly to the bridge as well? But yeah, her crouching down for the beam in was very Spock 2009-ish, but maybe not a lot of people got that reference. So, you know. 501st Legion. Ooh, hi, how's it going? Love Trek Yards and Lower Decks. Have two questions. Do you think we will ever see DS9 and Voyager on Blu-ray? And with Enterprise show, should it have been called Discovery? I think Enterprise should have been called something else. I really hate that they use it Enterprise because there's only they stated a few times that there were 5 ships to bear the name Enterprise, not 6, but that's okay. And as for DS9 and Voyager on Blu-ray, it's not worth it for them unless they remaster it, I think. And to remaster it, they say it's too expensive to do, but you know, I think eventually it'll be done. Yes, eventually it'll have to be done.
I mean, you can't have.
I remember when they were saying that. I remember back when they were saying that TOS would be too expensive to do per episode to remaster it. That quickly became a thing. So.
Yeah, I mean, it's as we talked about, and obviously I have more expertise than most people. It's all about the digital effects. Although as we know, the actual cost of one season of Star Trek Discovery will be more than several seasons of either DS9 and Voyager. One quote was either with some of the old guys coming back from Voyager and DS9, they could remaster the entire DS9 franchise for one season of Discovery. So it's very, very doable, especially with the original team, because they can then remaster it properly. Some scene files exist, some don't. Some mental work exists, some doesn't. The live action would look beautiful. I would love to see some Voyager in HD. But at a certain point, you've got to say, well, do you, just like TOS, do you remaster to look the same? Because most of the old ship assets exist, even the scene files don't exist. So you could sort of recreate them mostly with the same stuff. But then it's like, well, if you already put all that work in, why not improve the models? But then you're basically remastering it, which they do for TNG for a lot of the stuff, like made better versions that hold up. But then you're basically saying, let's remake 7 seasons of TV again. And it took weeks and months, and then things like the Timeless Crash, that took a long time at the time. You can't just remake that in the same way. You do it easier now, but it won't be the same. So you either make it very different, or you just accept, okay, you do a digital upres for all the space stuff and make all the rest of it HD, but then it looks not very good, etc., etc. If I was them, I would just say, right, we're going to do DS9 season 1, Voyager season 1, both use miniatures mostly, and see how they went. Well, I guess once you create the expectation of we're doing it, I guess they would, but I would do one of each. But saying DS9 can go up to season 4 pretty much and be okay. And then the battles are, yeah. And then Enterprise is on Blu-ray, so go buy it.
And Ozzy says, no, the captain stole the map. She didn't, though, because she said, I thanked you for the map. And I think our version of gratitude and yours isn't the same. So, yeah, they didn't steal the map. But
since they clearly weren't briefed properly on who the aliens were, because they completely don't understand their culture, which is both a good joke and but as with anything, when you split up this many sort of jokes and subplots, none of the individual things are that well thought out and make that much sense, and they're more just bits of joke. But it's a very quick episode, and so it doesn't really matter as much. None of them are full of plot holes, so it's okay. Enjoy the ride. They certainly just tried to make some fun stuff, and that's a big part of the equation. But yes, the JJ
Speaking
thing.
of the map, speaking of the map, is also the neutral zone again. It's still a thing and still looks similar to what we saw in TOS. So I mean, there's another good reference there, and of course the Romulan symbol and stuff all looks great. So
thank goodness no split delta.
Yes, that too. Yeah.
Yep. But next in the lineup is the warp sled, Vulcan warp sled / Federation warp sled / Spock shuttle / TMP shuttle. But we get to see the interior. Well, I guess they referenced Spock, 2 Spocks, which I thought was a stupid reference, but whatever. We get to see the inside. We get to see the consoles. We do get, I believe, a close up of the L cards as well. When he smashes his face into one. Yeah, there is. So, and it's even Vulcan signet. So yeah, this is a Vulcan branded shuttle as well.
Yeah, when it smashes into it, you can see some Vulcan script on there for sure. So very nicely done. And we've never seen the inside of one of these. We saw the outside in the motion picture, of course. And as is pointed out by Andrew Probert, I mean, I just did the Eagle Moss XL version of this as a review. There's deliberately no window on the front of that thing. So this one is probably the same, and yet inside it looks like very much like a window. You know why? Because it's a view screen. Because the window on a small ship would actually kind of make sense, but
or be less intrusive.
Yeah, so I doubt very much. We never get a shot of it, unfortunately, from the front or the top to see whether that's a window or not from the outside. But if it's very similar to the one from the motion picture, there definitely isn't. So, and there's nothing that slides up or down. So don't be saying that, because there's no room for anything to slide or even. I mean, it just doesn't make sense. Andrew Probert did not want a window there, so it's very much a view screen. I just want to point that out. But it is great seeing the inside of one of these.
I mean, yeah, red, orange, and whatever. Yeah, I mean, it's functional. It's nice to see. Wonder how and where they got this. Love that side view. So much detail, so much effort put in. Don't think they're all the same details. I don't know if they're all the same details.
They're very, very similar. Yes, they are. I should have gone and grabbed my Eagle Moss one, but
I don't remember this many light lines though. That's a small thing. But what about this is you get an instant scale reference. Like that top bit is a shuttle versus the warp pod, and it's just a normal shuttle size. It's basically just a runabout, but where you actually have to have a separate segment for the warp engines, which is great. Older tech should have that. Whereas in this sort of shuttle makes it sort of seem pointless. The Discovery shuttle can go to warp, long range, short range, far range, fast, doesn't matter. Makes everything else makes everything redundant. Whereas this is a distinct advanced technology by having it. So it's kind of a another darn new discovery for. But hopefully we'll just ignore Discovery canon in a few years and we'll be able to move on. Hopefully.
Well, that would be nice, but you got to wonder too why they're parachuting and not transporting in. I would assume there's a transport inhibitor, or it would set off the security sensors. But it was a nice, something you don't see in Star Trek very often. So
yeah, I mean, it would be a it would leave a trace, it would leave a trace, and they want to both sneak in, and a parachute is super old school. But I mean, hey, you can't trace a Can't trace a parachute.
Now is saying it has no docking ring on the back, but I'm sure it does. Let me take a look at it from the back here.
I just got to remember that impulse
Isn't it?
light thing. Yeah. But I mean, this is obviously more of a design to land on planets. I mean, the docking ports, while they do exist in Enterprise D, it's so less the primary way of transport. Whereas TMP was a long time ago, so I can imagine don't feel they need them. Now it's all about the landing, and I also think it's a differently proportioned shuttle. That top bit is thinner, or the sled's bigger.
The sled looks thinner for sure. Yeah, it does. But it's a cartoon. You can go with that conceit because it looks like the far nacelle from that back shot is a little bit bigger anyway. Like it's scaled wrong. So,
but then you say that, but if you cut to the museum, every single ship is scaled right, or at least proportionally scaled right.
Yeah, they're also not moving though. It's not a moving shot. So,
sure.
And if you look, actually, when the ship crashes, it looks like there is a docking ring at the back. It's got the round part or the cylindrical part.
So maybe people.
It's actually different. It's actually different between the two shots.
Dear. Oh yeah, it is. Oops a daisy. Oh guys.
So there you go. There is a mistake that we saw. So there you go.
Oopsie, it's a different shuttle. Although, no, it doesn't necessarily have to be, because this shuttle is the one that leaves. No, this is the one that crashes. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it was because I moved this screen cap ahead. Darn it! See, they thought they were being clever, but they just didn't match it on the other shot. Oh, eagle-eyed, Stuart. Eagle-eyed. Love it.
And actually, I think the door window is different too. The door they jump out of has one rectangular window on the shot where they're warping away, and then on the crashed one, it's got the two vertical slits like it's supposed to, like the motion picture had on that door. So small thing, but worth pointing out, I guess.
But one small thing that isn't worth pointing out is the thing they parachute into. We were both expecting a level of detail that kind of matched the base in the second episode, but no, this is all not overly Vulcan, not overly anything, and not even there's two circular things and one pointy thing that are landed and sort of looking like they're landed. They don't even look like spaceships. So whereas they could have used it as an excuse to have like outside a shuttle exhibit or have Vulcan, I guess it's meant to be Vulcan, potentially it's a Vulcan colony, hence the red. But I mean, it's nondescript, so they missed an opportunity there. Nothing against them. Don't have to pack everything, obviously. But I was surprised that they didn't have anything recognizable and yeah.
Yeah, that was a bit odd. I mean, it's a very quick scene though.
A lot of them are though, and they still cram the detail in. So I can imagine but it's still pretty detailed though. For what it is, it's still very detailed.
Yeah. But then we move inside, obviously, and we got the two Type 6 shuttles. We got the Ferengi shuttle. We got the Tholian ship, which we know from our Tholian reviews that we've done is like a two-man fighter. It's not very big. A two jewel, two crystal shut. I don't know. Whatever. Yeah. And we got the little bug ship, and of course the monolith from 2001, and a D7 and a Work B. I mean, there's a lot of stuff in here. Plus the T'Plana Hoth Vulcan lander from First Contact,
which is beautifully detailed. That is extremely well done.
And a Type F shuttlecraft from TOS, which is glorious to see, by the way.
I wonder though how many of these are actually Eagle Moss models, and they just like did that. You know what I mean? And sketch them, because to get proportion right is harder, especially in 3D. Or that Ferengi shuttle, the way the top is doesn't look right to me. It feels the way it circles in the cockpit area, it seems too minivan-y rather than actually what it should be. A little bit off. And obviously these things aren't to scale, guys. That D7 isn't just spoilers, guys. D7 isn't a one-man fighter, because you can fit one person in that head.
Yeah, it's just a scaled down representation. That's what I thought the Bird of Prey would be too, based on where it is, but it's not. I guess it's a regular size one because they're all on the bridge. But from him crawling up that strut to just compare the size of the engine and the back, just scaling's all wrong there. So, it is.
I mean, it could be a small version which only has like 6 rooms. one deck, 6 rooms, and the bridge is one of the 6.
What a conceit, though. What a conceit.
Yeah. We got a one.
Of course,
why do they have so many Type 6s, do you think? They have 3 Type 6s.
I don't know.
And they're obviously to scale, so those are real Type 6s.
To make up for the fact that there's the Discovery shuttles everywhere else and all the other shows, maybe. And then there's also the security guard wearing the Star Trek 3 security armor.
Would have been
Not
nice.
just Star Trek 3. I think it's in some of the movies too.
Yeah, well, it does
in the
change
background
a bit.
kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah. It would have been nice if he'd had an older style rifle. 'Cause it does feel a bit out of kilter to suddenly have the new rifle. It's not even like that might imply that rifle's actually trying to be the first contact rifle, because it's not the same exact design. But if a museum uses it, I'm sure they're not going to be getting the highest end equipment, are they? So, I guess it's meant to just be the same one. Don't know.
Yeah.
And then you got obviously the fan dance, which feels odd to me. That feels a bit forced to me. Like there's no distinct reason for that. Now, if there was a exhibit with those things on it, like a tree, and he's like, "Let me try something," pulls them off and then starts dancing with them, and the guy says, "What? Some kind of fan dance, you idiot!" Like that is good. But
that might have happened. We just didn't see it because he was blacked out at the time.
Well,
that's the whole thing. We don't know what led up to this.
Yeah.
Judge 1981 though, $2, 75 likes, you magnificent people. On to 100. Yeah, 115 people watching. Easy. We can easily get to 100, guys. If you haven't hit like yet, please hit like.
And do super chat. We're about a third of where we need to be, a fourth. So, guys, put in some $5. Let us know what you think of this episode. Let us know what your favorite references are. We need to go a long way, but we think we can get there. You guys are brilliant.
Then when the guy goes to actually pull the trigger on the rifle, the security guard, you can see the D7 in the background, and it's definitely got like landing gear on the bottom of its nacelle. And the nacelle's not angled right for a D7, by the way.
Yeah.
And the nacelle's all wrong. But
it's also
who's going to notice something like that?
It's also not got inner grill, so it is a D7, not a Katinga.
Yeah.
Because they would have, at least Cronus 1 has interior, but again, it's scaled. And that monolith, I'm a little bit tired of that joke, because it's clearly just there's something on the other side.
It could just be a display, like
that's what I mean.
The side's got like, yeah.
This is the Hall of Alien shuttles, fighters, destroyers, and capital ships, and auxiliary craft like work bees, everything. But I get the joke. But yes, and I love the small thing, but show the diagram of the bird of prey, completely perfect. I'm sure they literally took that off the technical manual, They scanned that and then, verbatim.
So there's a lot to talk about in the museum there. But next up, of course, is the Romulan bird of prey. He is standing on it, cloaked, and knocks on it, and it decloaks. And again, we get a shot of the Vulcan or the warp sled as well from underneath.
Interesting scaling ideas. Like it's not big.
Before the bird of prey like fully decloaks, you can see it above it, which is nice. But looking very, very, very true to TOS style, and it's great to look at. That's such a first great establishing shot of that ship. Like it's such a good view of it.
And it's great because it's not 25% different. It's not 15% different. It's 5% different. It's 5% updated. That's it.
Yeah. It's just guys, we know the D7 was likely just a model.
We did say that a couple of times. No, it's great.
Fighter version.
Well, I also said, I said that too. And in fact, this makes me wonder what would how would the bird of prey I have, the model, look like with more Aztecing, just like plate bulk on it? How would it kind of feel? I think pretty good, to be honest.
Yeah. The plating on it's just nice and subtle. It just looks so good. But then we get another shot of the we get the arm display for the suit, which is kind of cool. I thought that was a nice visual.
And you get to see another beautiful scale of him on the thing. I mean, it's just how much more literal scale can you get? There's a dude. There's a shuttle, and there's a view of the back. So pretty bog standard, like generic interior. But yeah, it's a freight, a freight person transport. Yeah, there's the display again, clearly Vulcan symbols. Nice, simple, blue, efficient. It goes to warp, and the warp is very right, although it does imply that the orange is warp engines, which I don't think is necessarily as good, but hey-ho. Not the end of the world. But then you get Gorn Wedding, which is the thumbnail.
Which, I mean, they held true to the TOS Gorn aesthetic, and we got Vasquez rocks, of course we did, because why not? And even the fabric that was worn by the captain, the Gorn captain in Arena, is here as well on the bride and the groom. They both have little areas of it, so that's pretty great. I just love seeing the Gorn. I wish the Gorn were in more Star Trek because they're so interesting to me.
I mean, they're a hard one because, like we said in a previous video, you associate them with being simple, primitive, at least in terms of personal interaction. Because in the episode, we see a Gorn captain wearing very basic attire, barely can use his hands, which implies he's not very good at physical whatever. He's very slow and can barely speak. So them being able to fly to the stars is an odd concept, and trying to see the inside of a Gorn ship would be incredibly hard to design without completely retconning their ability of motion, which is not the end of the world. And obviously, if you were to do a modern, Glenn Hetrick, visually identical but 5 times the budget suit, where it's a prosthetic face mask and arm pieces, but the rest of the else was human, you could suddenly, you could give him more of a movement, which would be great. More like a Doug Jones kind of mime, I can move. But you couldn't see too advanced. Would you call them cold-blooded? Would you, how would you develop the culture? It's like the Tholian. Once you add anything to them, it both demystifies them and confuses.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's true. But
and it'd be hard to do them right. I mean, even this is weird because this implies, a lot of things, although they're fun for the most part.
As Jill brought up, and as a rude chef just asked.
Oh. Great timing, Zoom. Great timing.
So he's very similar to us. So.
Say it again, sorry. Zoomed out.
Did I really?
Yes.
Okay, what was the last thing you heard?
Jill said.
Oh, Jill said that they have mammaries. They have boobs, and Rude Chef also says that. So are they mammals? And I guess so. Don't see why not.
I mean,
they're humanoid.
It's another planet. Who's to say they can't be a cross between multiple things? I mean, just because we don't know any reptiles that have tits doesn't mean an alien one can't.
Yep.
Or they could genetically modify themselves 500 years ago to be able to do the best of it. Maybe they liked some mammal stuff, and they, don't limit yourself. I mean, come on, there are life forms made of salt in Star Trek, or made of carbon, or made, come on, the Horgon, no, the Gorkon, no, the thing with the Devil in the Dark. What's that called?
A Horta.
Ah, so close. Horgon, Horta. That's a bit of a weird life form too. And in fact, you can see another Gorn. You go more of a close up with the camera. So guys, here's a world exclusive Gorn camera, and it has a viewfinder.
And Sean O'Neill says, "Why are they even there?" Well, that's the fun part. We don't know, and neither does Rutherford. You'd like to know what happened in the mission too.
I mean, they crashed. They lost course. They crashed onto a Gorn planet, right next to a Gorn chapel, and for some reason none of the Gorns heard a shuttle sonic boom into the atmosphere, crash into the ground at max speed, and be on fire. Because if you cut to reverse, that's a bit of a Rexture. That thing is boom. It's a little bit unbelievable.
It's so wrecked. It's even a different ship because it's got an airlock at the back. And Fleet Paw Swiftback puts in $2.
Thank
Gorn Wedding, nom nom nom.
Yeah, they do nom.
You have drawn my attention, says Gorns make milk, one criteria for being a mammal. Well, you don't know they make milk just because they have boobs. It could just be
shoot poison.
Who knows? Maybe that's where the eggs are stored, and the eggs pop out. Who knows?
Well, that would be alien.
It's an alien species.
I mean, that would be a hell of a reveal in some sort of, episode. Oh God. Ugh.
Vindor, welcome to the rank of Commander. He has joined the channel, so welcome, Commander.
To the crew.
Those channel memberships really help us out. So if you guys can, please do. It's just as good as a super chat. And General Gorandius puts in $5. Maybe Gorn Tech has telepathic circuits a la the TARDIS. Yeah. I mean, anything's possible. They're an alien species. So, you know.
Yeah, I mean,
maybe they're not all that slow. Maybe that was just the captain was, you know, he obviously was a bodybuilder. He was pretty bulked up. I'm trying to get my camera to focus.
And maybe the gravity was different than he's used to.
Yeah, and maybe he had just done leg day and he was sore. He just
we just woke up, had his coffee.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah.
Obviously, then if you go by the Intermediate Darkly version, they are very maneuverable, much more dinosaur than reptile, far more physically imposing, and but still wrestleable by a human. So still wrestleable. But yeah, good scene. Also, all these things we want more of.
Yep, and poor Rutherford gets attacked by the Gorn ladies, but that's okay. He was hoping that his implant would get him out of the situation. It doesn't, because it reboots and starts up right away. But that's okay. That's okay.
Yes.
Next thing would probably
this is a small thing, but I still love that Tendi and the crew use the hover sleds from TNG. It's such a small detail, but they had to think about that. How are we going to move stuff? Well, let's actually watch Star Trek. Let's not invent some sort of sci-fi gadget which hovers 6 feet off the ground and it has no. Oh look, TNG had hover sleds. Done. So just small thing, but I always smile when they come on screen because there we go. They've got the tech. Use it. And then the map. I put the map. We'll talk about the map. Bird of prey. Oh yeah, the bridge of the bird of prey, which clearly Romulan in terms of TNG Romulan with a bright color palette. As you're saying to White's, you think it's White's clearly Romulan second, but I do think though, if you didn't know where it's from, you took away the Romulan symbols and the L cars, you would think it was pretty generic. But obviously, pretty close.
The bridge was a nice addition, if you will, to the lore, because it makes sense. Also, the uniforms they're wearing from Chain of Command, the same kind of special ops uniforms was great to see. Kind of a small thing there, but that's okay. We've already talked about the phaser rifle. We did an episode on that at one point. And then also the Romulans. The Romulans look like Romulans. Go figure. My schnozberries taste like schnozberries. Now, are those Romulan disruptors that we've seen before, or just similar in design?
No, they're the ones from TNG. Flat out. I mean, the green.
Same.
Yeah, the green bits I don't think are green nor glowy, but it's like they're like 85%.
Okay.
Thinner, with more glow green bits. But yeah, apart from that. Yeah. And also, Pterodactyls is the next one I had. I mean, look, obviously we get to see a lot of the Pterodactyls here, and they are gorgeously detailed, gorgeously accurate, proportionately right. Yep. Although, and it's a small thing, but I'm intrigued why the Romulan symbol on the. Again, I've rendered a lot of Pterodactyls in my time actually. The head symbol of the Empire is kind of a weird half symbol in both of them. They didn't put the full detail in. And in fact, there's two shot. The one on the left has windows in its forward beak lower bit. The other one hasn't. So they're kind of different each time. I'm not against different window placement for each ship. Although it does kind of show they're using different models. Even the way the slices are. Yeah, they're different ships. They have different design cues. In fact, yeah, that's weird. It's not just the same model they've turned. It's a different looking model with slightly different details. That's weird.
That is weird.
That is very weird. Huh?
It's just different versions, man. They don't all have to be the same.
No,
I'm fine with this decision. Yeah, they're all different actually.
Are they all different?
Well, I guess not. The spine on the two closest to us looks a little different.
Oh yeah, the two closest to us have different eyes. One, wow. I mean that's attention to detail. / they didn't talk to each other. That's so weird.
And now we know.
And knowing is 1/5 the battle.
It's true.
Like even the plume on the left and the right front are literally different. That's so strange.
Mm-hmm. Sorry, then I jumped ahead. I apologize.
That's awesome. That's really cool. Huh. There you go. But then Romulus, dude. I love Romulus. Good to see, although it's harsh to see because now we know it blows up. Picard leaves Starfleet because of it, and then we get stupid Star Trek Picard, the plot of, so, you know, bit bittersweet. Although it shows we can still go back to Romulus pre-destruction and make new stories. So.
Yeah, but I mean, it was good to see. It did feel like Romulus, did look like Romulus, so
yeah, beautiful.
Bravo. Yeah.
And in fact, when they beam down, it's got two different Romulan symbols, which I believe is the Nemesis and other one, because they're completely different symbols.
Yeah.
I think the top one is the Nemesis one, bottom one is something else. Cool.
There's no TOS one. TOS one is very good.
yes.
Tenchi 2K7 puts in $5.
Thank you.
Those Pterodexes can possibly detect the bird of prey. Just wondering why they are cloaked in Romulan space. LOL. Why? Who's cloaked? The Romulan, the one they stole? Because they got to get to Romulus without being detected.
That's actually
and
quite
we
a
guess
long
that
journey.
it's either. Yeah, we guess it's either an older style cloaking device that the new ones don't even bother looking for anymore because who would be using it?
Yeah.
Maybe it's new and modern. Who knows? Let's see. So yeah, no problem with that at all. But then they get the package out, which is a container we've never seen before. I don't think.
Yeah. Pretty normal.
It kind of looks like Han Solo's carbonite though on the side with the way the lights are. But yeah.
Then obviously got Q. Q appears, and yes, Drax does 2 stars. They finally got his rank under control from his radical promotion and depromotion. And still in a way as a wand. I mean, I know the dress or the outfit is slightly more Alice in Wonderland-y, but it definitely adds to the vibe, the magicaliness, rather than being the Q. Although he's playing a more fantastical, silly version of himself. Well, obviously, he does silly things in TNG. There's no menace here, there's no, he's a joke version of Q. He's the caricature of Q. We hired a John Delancey impersonator to be a joke Q, as opposed to, we brought in Q. Not a bad thing, per se, and at least there's 2 scenes. I still wish that robe was more form-fitting, because it makes him look a bit silly, but that's okay.
Yeah. Again, I wish he would have showed up with the TNG captain's uniform and then maybe flashed to something else. I don't know why.
You guys have a much worse uniform now, and then he makes them all go into TNG. That would have been a good joke.
That would have been good, yeah.
I never liked your new one anyway. That'd have been cool. Well, it would have been fun to see him in a Nemesis uniform. Like, we never got to see that because it was never in the era. That'd have been cool.
Yeah. Yes, the game thing. I mean, I could see him putting the TNG crew through that, I guess. Not really, but that's okay. And then we get the salt vampire, which is great. Oh, they went extinct 100 years ago.
Yeah, I mean,
clearly they didn't.
How much more TOS can you get, really?
And it's a pretty good representation of a salt vampire, I think.
It is. And just a small note, but looks to me that the lovely blonde and then the mammary glands get more saggy when she shows her true form. Yes,
as they should. And her name was Marianne, which is neither here nor there, but that's.
I mean, this is a whole episode by itself. I mean, I would have been content with a full episode on how a salt vampire got on the ship. Like, that's an episode.
And we know that everybody sees salt vampires in a different way. They all see what they expect. So what does Mariner see? Does she see the salt vampire because she knows?
She expects to see death and danger.
Everybody in the bar is like, what? Ugh, he's got bad taste, because they all know.
I mean, maybe they could come back around and show more of it. It was a fun idea.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then we have the starbase. I just jumped here just in case we could see more details on the ships, but no. Still the same level of detail. Boo, show us more, but that's okay. Back to the council chamber thing. Then he says drumhead. Drops it, and obviously he told me that drumhead's actually a concept, not just a name of an episode, which makes me...
And he references the giant Spock from the animated series, The Infinite Vulcan.
Lots of things there.
And yes, and then the whole... And when Dr. Crusher fell in love with that thing on that Irish planet...
With the lantern, ghost and lantern.
And all that thing. I love that it wasn't referenced Sub Rosa, like that was never mentioned. But that...
I know it's a stupid episode, they're making reference to it, but why would he know that? Why would he have read up?
Well, exactly.
See, there are some things where it's too obscure. It's like if one of them knew Data's cat Spot's favorite feline supplement number. It's like, no, you wouldn't. But you'd be like, oh, it's a reference. It's like, no, that's just, Drumhead I likes as a concept. That's an integrator, but no,
this is a sham of a trial. Drumhead.
Now, if Marin had referenced, I once met a Welsh zombie in a pot. Same thing but different. And that's a reference with an internal joke as opposed to just saying something like, how would you know? So I'm not as keen on that, but And then the end obviously has Q as well. And it's flying throne with the lions. And we can see, actually this is interesting because we know this is their corridor. So their sleeping corridor is literally on a main corridor without any main doors.
Yeah, that's what bugs me about it. People were saying that's like a dorm room and stuff, and it's like, no, it's not really, but that's okay.
I mean, it looked like it was from its first appearance, but now it is more of a corridor. That's not to say they couldn't be a sliding, very thin door there, but you'd really want to have a door there. At least get a window. I mean, they get a window to whatever, which is nice.
Maybe some people are just into salt vampires. Who's to judge?
Sure. I mean, maybe they give good salt.
They assault you very well.
Give salt as
she's got suckers and plungers on her fingers. So I mean, who knows how that could be used?
And obviously, just like with the sirens in Red Dwarf, I mean, Lister was still happy making out with a big cockroach. You can still create happiness even if you're kissing a gross thing. So, and obviously, if you're penalizing the salt vampire for looking at someone else, whatever, or Vina in the cage, that's her entire spiel. Is I look like my old self, so you find me attractive. In fact, she's a Frankenstein of a lady. So that's a good question to you then, Stuart. As this is a very strange tangent, but say this is the future, and say you're in a sci-fi Federation world, right?
Yes. And
you meet a lady in a space station, and you think she's really, really great, and she's going the same, whatever. She asks a passage on your ship, whatever. Not euphemism. I'm getting there. And you find out after like 6 months of dating that she is different to every person within a certain standard, and this is who you want to see. But there's no other problems. It's just her natural whatever. No meanness, no negative, and you just see what you want to see. And she can even modify her in physical appearance, what you see her. Is that livable with? Is there a downside to that? A creature that literally can modify. Now, it's not real. She's actually like a green, 1 foot small. Like, she's not actually what you see.
She's like Yaphid from Orville.
Sure, yeah. She's like Yaphid from Orville. But to you, she looks solid.
Now, how does everybody else see her?
How she wants to be seen, but she can modify that based on what you want them to see. So you can say...
Then I'm fine with that. As long as she's a great person, the fact that she can do that, that'd be fantastic, actually. That's kind of like your dreaming lady. That can be like whatever you want, right?
But actually, you're kissing a green slime puddle, or you're kissing...
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. As long as it feels and looks, the way that you want it to look and feel.
Okay. One curveball, then. So you remember the thing from Sirens from Red Dwarf? So imagine that, but with more of a human face, and like that grossness, but more humanoid. So it's at least similar form factor, and she can only keep that appearance up when she's awake. So if you wake up in the middle of the night and turn around, you're now staring at a black creature, glowing blue, with scales. And as soon as she wakes up, you blink and she's changed. So anytime she's asleep and you're awake. Or like if you're cuddling on the sofa, she passes out, boom, now there's suddenly a, literally. How would that change?
See, that might be a little upsetting and disturbing.
But
plus, if she, when she gets older, if she loses the ability to
she won't.
Concentrate.
Nope.
No.
She will look the same. She can either look the same youth or look older for you. And she's
That's what I'm saying. If she gets older and gets like dementia and can't concentrate on her form and just randomly will like glitch out.
Yes, maybe.
That's not cool.
But if you've already lived like 60 years with the most beautiful woman you've ever met,
true,
then why would suddenly old version of her look worse?
It's embarrassing to my friends and stuff.
But they know who she is, though. Actually, that's a good question. If your wife girlfriend could change forms, would you tell people? Like, would you be proud of this ability or not?
Yes, I definitely would, and we would start a new career.
You could.
Not saying doing.
But then I think after 30 years of marriage, or whatever, you really don't have a right to be pissed that she'd lose the ability later in life.
Oh no! By that point, I would have got used to it and been like, whatever, it's gonna happen.
Yeah. So how complicated is this really for you? Like, can you basically it's like Frank Jekyll and Hyde. It's like at some point you get used to the idea of you lose them half the time, etc.
Yeah, I'd be fine with it. I think it's one of those things I could look. All right, like that's what's important.
And guys, do put in what you guys think. So I'm going to throw another curveball at you.
What?
Because this is a fun debate. Real Star Trek here. So you're 21, right? Go back in time for a second. 21. You're an officer, whatever. And the alien's also in her early stages of existence, similar to you. And same initial setup. She tells you what she can do. There's no lies here. And you also know what she looks like in real. But the thing is, the older she gets, the less attractive she looks to you. That's her part of her ability, is that she's like a 14 out of 10. She's absolutely absurdly good in your eyes when you meet, to the point of extreme. But it's a actual linear decreasing. So when she's like 50, she's now lost 50% of her attractiveness. And at some point, she's going to the ugly threshold in your mental mindset. So if you take it at 80, you're like, oh my God.
So it's just like every relationship ever.
But more actual direct curve, where it's not just like less pretty, actually goes to ugly, and like I'm not attracted to this. But after like 70
like
years,
every marriage ever, that's fine. Yeah, it's fine. It's good.
Okay. And
At
by the end,
at that point, you're just used to them. So yeah.
And by the 80th year, you're like, just show your real form. That's probably more attractive than. Oh my God, no!
Yeah. Change it up. Like, let's see something.
Let's see those scales, baby. What do you guys think?
Broken speaker, $2. I liked it. Here's money.
Thanks.
Have you guys seen the Deep Space 69 series? It's surprisingly similar to Lower Decks. Nope, never even heard of it.
It's a whole new thing.
Yeah.
A whole new world. Yeah. So that was a whole debate. Around the debates we can have.
Talking about it in the chat. I'm looking something up right now.
Yes. The radical debates we can have based on this. Yeah.
I've never even heard of Deep Space 69, but wow, that looks interesting.
69, Bill and Ted.
It reminds me. It looks like it could be similar to Tripping the Rift. If you guys ever seen Tripping the Rift, but it's very good.
Well, that's bizarre.
Anyway, yeah.
Huh. Bizarre. So yeah, that's a ton of references.
Yeah, there were a ton in this one, and a lot of them weren't, mentioned. They were just background, but that's fine, and they were just used. They're just part of the world. Just hey, look, they never mentioned anything about a warp sled or a Vulcan shuttle or any of that.
Nope.
Where, and it could have been easily a line of dialogue. Yeah, we got this. This is the fastest warp sled or whatever.
Yeah,
and it just wasn't there. So,
I mean, that's where it goes beyond reference to actual integrated. Yeah, Stuart, guess, you know what? It's not rocket science. That's the sad thing.
For some people, it might be. It's hard.
it's hard to make Star Trek, and then some people it's not hard to make Star Trek. Yeah. And ironically, you know, as a fan that's made Star Trek fan work, where obviously my aim is to make something that feels Star Trek, etc. Some of the things I wouldn't even do, and not to say for good or for bad, just I wouldn't think to throw a Assault Vampire in just because. You know what I mean? There's even I who references the whale probe as a whale probe, you know, and that's, you know, already a bit of a silly reference. So it's great. You know, it's pleasantly surprised to be pleasantly surprised when it comes to referencing Star Trek canon in a Star Trek show these days, because we've been sort of abused a little bit for a while.
Melissa Jericho was so confused what we were talking about. Well, really?
Go back and listen.
Shouldn't have been that confusing.
Pre-Soul Vampire and yeah.
We have 100 likes now. We just said 100 likes. It's awesome. 112 viewers. That is great. So thank you. Thank you for the 100 likes.
If we can get 29 more dollars in Super Chat, then we can not necessarily be happy, but we can walk away saying we did our job. You know, please do help if you can. And guys, what do you want to talk about? You know, we've had a solid hour. This was a pretty straightforward one. There's so many, but they were, you know, self-explanatory. And that's probably that a 27-minute show. You know, there's only so much you could discuss, which is fine. Also, with Discovery, we're going to get a lot more like things and bobs.
Hopefully.
Well, yeah, it is the future with all new tech, so you'd assume there'd be more things. But yes, you're right, maybe not.
Yeah, we'll have to see. Judge 1981, $5, 100 likes. Woohoo!
Thank you.
PI says, "Are we going to get a follow-up on the USS Horizon and the USS Foley?"
Oh, I mean,
would you like that?
Yeah, I've done a little bit of work on the Horizon recently. I've designed a transporter room. I may or may not have told you, which was a very fun process actually, because if you're designing something, you've got to go both new yet familiar, designed to make sense and yet logical. Can't be too far from the mold because it's functional, but also different. So that, and also look like your other existing designs. That was a really interesting challenge. And in fact, I'll say something radical, Stuart. The hardest thing to design has been the corridor, because a corridor is a corridor, right? Problem is, TNG and Voyager are bloody amazing corridors. Like, you know what I mean? Like, how do you get better than the TNG corridor? Really? Like, they're brilliant. So I don't want to just nick that. And so actually, you know, as weird as that sounds, I think I actually really quite like the lower decks corridors, at least in basic form. They're different in shapes. I don't mind the bulkheads coming out, so I think I'm going to take the lower decks corridor, which we obviously had built for our intro, and kit bash it and kind of make a slightly varied shape version and use that as my Horizon corridor. So I'd love to. My goal with my Horizon, because I've got the bridge. Sort of got a crew quarters. You know, I'd love to, like the Enterprise D project, eventually have it. You can actually walk through some Horizon sets. So obviously, once you build a corridor, you can build you can build the exact system of corridors like you would on a standing set like the TOS James Corley set. So once you build a piece, you can kind of design the entire segment, and then you can now walk through the corridors. You know, one of my goals would be to do that.
Yeah, with the Foley class too, I've got deck layouts, like, and it's got the bridge design, the emergency bridge design, the captain's quarters design, engineering kind of almost designed. Yeah, it is a fun process. We'll have to do some detailed videos on our ships at some point, I think.
Although, you know, how close to the TOS engineering is your engineering then? Because
not close.
Ooh, okay.
Well, it's visually recognizable as being similar, but yeah. That's something that it's a totally different design, because it's the next step towards like the refit. So
what was the like? Okay.
Plus, it's got the two warp cores, the vertical and the horizontal. So it's a great visual.
What sort of scale is it compared to either? Obviously, TOS is a rather small engineering. TMP is a rather large engineering. Where does it fit in that range?
Probably closer to the TMP one. It's definitely a few decks, like about 2.5, 3 decks height. You can see quite a bit. So
yeah, I was tinkering with, again, you know, how to design, because it's funny, both of us would like to design it in the era we go into, and so that involves thinking about what already exists. And I had a couple of days of doing a Horizon engineering, because this is your one ship. I can have other ships with other designers, maybe I can have other ships designed with you, but I'm only going to have my first one. It's my first original. But I have this certain logic whereby Horizon is meant to feel like a Voyager Season 8 ship. As if they had a Season 8 and they got to see a second Federation ship, like the Equinox or Prometheus, but they had, maybe it was a 4-parter, so they had 4 parts worth of budget to kind of build some sets, right? But they still were going to do what they always would do, which is reutilize pieces they had because it saves money. So in my universe, in my world, I'm thinking both from a physical standpoint, but also a behind-the-scenes standpoint. So if you were to do a Horizon engineering, you'd need to build it around the Voyager engineering, because that was the same set used for the Star Trek 6, TNG, TMP. Tweaked.
And actually the Foley class is very similar to the Voyager look for engineering.
So you need to build it in the same basic frame. For some reason they didn't want to take apart the walls. You think the walls are the easiest part to take apart, but so you have to build it in that, but it have to be different enough. So I had ideas like 3 a.m. one night, I didn't write them down, so I have to try and remember what I thought in the geniusness. Well, I do remember I talked about this with Tim at the MSD. There's actually 2 engineering rooms technically. There's like a smaller one behind the primary one, which a warp core feeds into, because you need to have emergency power available. And because there was a space at the MSD, like what could go there? I suggested a second engineering room, which is more like a so it doesn't split. Like the Prometheus is 3, but mine doesn't split. It may split in 2 at some point someday, but it's only meant to stay intact. But you still need the power potentially of so a secondary warp core can spool up. It's on active standby just to kind of ramp that power up. He was so enthralled he paused. Oh, there you are.
Yeah. Well, we got some super chats to read out here. I'm back.
Oh, good. We got 101. Excellent.
Fleet Pass with back $5. Yippee Skippy, we made it to 100 likes. Now the Gorn bridesmaids aren't going to cart Sam off and nibble on him. Hashtag mute.
You saw them at the wedding. They were so pretty. I would not be offended. Take a compliment where it comes.
Broken Speaker, $5. So we got offhand confirmation. Q has at least been checking in on Picard. Speculation on if Picard knows. Will there be more Q or just a sight gag? I can see Q coming back maybe once or twice, like during the course of the series, depending on how many seasons they have. So,
yeah. They've opened the floodgates. They've obviously got John Delancey. They know him. They like him. He likes them. They filmed. You could do more easily now. So certainly a distinct possibility.
And Judge 1981 throws in $5.
Thank you.
Does Trek Yards have a heck of a party planned for their anniversary? I completely forgot about that. That's October 14th, guys. October 14th will be 6 years for Trek Yard's existence.
Oh, yeah. Maybe I have to do animation.
That's a Wednesday.
That's a Wednesday. Gosh.
Hold on. So we got 2 more episodes of Lower Decks. So that's Thursday the 1st and the 8th. So holy shit. Okay. So the last episode of Lower Decks is the 8th, which means our season 1 review of it will be Sunday the 11th, which is a drinking one. We should just combine that with the Trek Yard's birthday.
So what day? The audio went away for a second. The drinking is on the
11th, the Sunday.
Okay.
And Wednesday the 14th is our anniversary for 6 years for Trek Yards. So since there's no speculation video because Discovery starts on the 15th, we can have a birthday bash thing on the 14th.
So two drunk lives in 1 week.
I don't know if it'll be a drunk live. We can just have a reminiscing, just checking out all our old videos and discussing.
Well, we should
filming them.
Limit it to non-hard liquor. I think that's fair. Have a few beers because you can't be hungover on 5 beers, But you can on a drunk yards because those things have hard liquor. We can feel that the next day.
We'll have to talk about it and plan something, but with the way it's scheduled right between Lower Decks and Discovery is kind of interesting. So
yeah.
we'll probably do something. That's a good point. Thank you for bringing that up, Judge 1981. Yeah, October 14th, 6 years of Trek Yards.
That's a while. Woo-hoo. Boy, the Trek world has changed in those years. Seriously.
Oh yeah.
We went from the only weekly Star Trek online video content to one of many, lower views than most, but a lovely fan base and still videos that no one else does. We don't get into the drama or the politics. We just don't want to. And we, still talk to designers. And that's such a nice thing. 5 years and 4 months, we still talk to all of our designers. We haven't made a single enemy. And none of them don't like us after 6 years. That's pretty good. That's, I mean, not to say that everyone makes enemies, but to be equally liked by all of them, if not more, obviously, that many years on is quite nice, really.
Yeah, it'll be. Yeah, we'll decide on something to do. But Squadron Course, $2. It's hard to be original, but not too different.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Absolutely.
And if you're trying to fit into a distinct era, then obviously you're not gonna. Why would you invent anything radical? Because it just won't feel right. That's part of why the Dauntless, like the episode as it progresses, like, well, that looks advanced. That engine room is in the middle of the room. It's like, well, that's weird. It's like, yeah, but no, I'd love to have a walk through the horizon where I can, like I say, corridor, engine room. I do want to do a sick bay. Although in my mind, I don't know about you, Stuart, but in my mind, the sick bay would be just the Voyager sick bay with maybe thinner tables, because if the Voyager one was used for E, and the E is not that long ago, relatively speaking, that's quite a long, it feels like that's a very robust design. I wouldn't need to change it much. It's still so functional. Like, you wouldn't want to reinvent the wheel too much in certain areas, because why would you? It's like crew quarters.
I think this is a whole live topic.
Yeah, I've thought about it.
Just go on and on. We both could about designing our ships.
Yes.
Let's try not to get off topic.
Well, too late.
Jill, or You Have Drawn My Attention, puts in $2. The anniversary chat should be a clip show. I agree. I think we should go back to the beginning, kind of just randomly pick videos throughout the course of our timeline and just talk about making them, what, any funny thing we remember about them, whatever. I think that'd be fun to kind of do a history of Trek Yards kind of.
And the joke being, we have sort of done that before, like moments.
Yeah, it's something we're going to end up doing probably a lot during the course of Trek Yards run.
But we never remember what we're going to say, and we're going to feel different about our memories as we go through. Like, now the Aaron Eisenberg memories are now more powerful than they were last year. They'll be one of many celebrity interactions where now they're a bit more unique. Same with
Renee.
Well, yes, but I only have one with him. But Richard Hatch, like that interview was just like, oh, lucky interview, rather than now like a special got to do, etc., etc. And actually, it couldn't come as a better time actually doing a drunk one and an anniversary one, because this month has been okay, but super chats, I've had a few off days, which is no, you guys do amazing, but we do rely on random people to pop in and see, and obviously people jump in if they don't. It's so random. We're happy with whatever we get, so those two will really kind of help pump us up a little bit of the buffer, which is great.
We will be here to pump you up.
Yes.
Pump us up, we'll pump you up.
And I'll be able to show off a new costume. I'll probably do a costume change for the drunk one, which
I'll have some too.
I have 2 new costumes since the last time, and in fact I might, because it's still 2 weeks. Yeah, still 2 weeks. So I should be able to get some of my work in progress ones tailored, so I can actually wear them, which would be kind of nice. Because then we can do those are always really fun. The sponsored costume change, because it's fun to look suddenly different all of a sudden.
VPOS Swiftback, $2. Sam needs some real alcohol, not just vodka.
I mean, it hits the kidneys the exact same way other booze does. So
Sam U Ray, $5. Haven't been around because Lower Decks is ridiculous.
Oh,
right. But I'm here to support the channel. Thank you, Sam.
Yeah.
Appreciate that. And
you are.
You're not enjoying Lower Decks, but thank you for supporting the channel. Appreciate that very much.
Epicness, thank you. Any little bit does help, and just you being just you being here does help. Any small amount does.
And You Have Drawn My Attention, says Trek Yards. The funniest moment was probably how you defeat the Xindi aquatic ship by freezing it into ice, rolling on the floor laughing.
That was like week 5.
Yeah, that was. Oh, the whole versus thing at the end. Oh, we'll talk about that when we do our anniversary. I don't want to get into it right now. There was a formula at the beginning. We'll talk about that later. And Judge 1981, $5. Drunk Yard suggestion. Near the end, both of you have to try to put a snap together enterprise. Well, see, that's what I want to do next time we're together.
What does that mean?
Well, I'll tell you in a second.
Okay.
Next time we're together, I want to do this something similar where we drink. You guys ask us questions. If we get the question wrong, you get to tell. We take turns answering the questions. If we get the question wrong, we have to take a shot. But while we're doing it, we're both side by side at a table, and we both have a small Lego kit, like one of those small little Star Wars ones or whatever. I saw this on Grand Tour with James May and Richard Hammond. They were doing this. They're building car Lego models, and they're kind of complicated. So if we're both building it while we're drinking and answering questions, so we're concentrating on the question, concentrating on the following the instructions and drinking. So by the end, whoever gets the car finished is the winner. I think that's something that we could do, which will be kind of fun.
It sounds like we have to
We'll
buy
get the small Lego kits that are like $20 each.
Well,
and
I would have said buy like a medium-sized Star Wars build, so go for like 2 hours.
Oh, no, they had a small build and they were 2 hours and they were sloshed. You couldn't even finish it. So no, we're not doing one of the complicated ones.
Well, not just medium,
Even the medium ones.
But the tiny ones are like 100 pieces, and there's no complexity. What makes them hard? Well, I guess I've done Lego more recently than you have, Stuart. I was big into Lego, so maybe our skill levels are different here.
No. I'm
and they were even further away. So Charles both those guys are older than you. So I was doing Lego. Oh, still got Lego over there.
Yes, like what they do in Drive Tribe. Yes, this is Jericho. Yes.
Let me see if I've still got. I think this. Yeah. How do you? So. This is what I would consider, smaller than a medium. That's like a pretty small one. I assume you mean like this level small?
No, bigger than that.
Okay, because that's why I would consider small. That's like 5 minutes, and that's still like 7 minutes. So.
No.
Because these are the small ones. What ones are you thinking?
Yeah, but that's not what I was meaning by small.
Okay, these are actually.
Those are like the kid ones.
No, they're normal. What are you on about? Again,
we could have two or three of those each. So you have to build like a few. That might work too, because that'd be cheaper. First of all,
and we have to keep them because I want stormtroopers. I even though I'm an adult, if I can get stormtroopers for Lego.
Samuel, you're not an adult. Just
look. Okay.
FYI.
Just because I have a Voyager phaser literally within arm reach doesn't mean I'm not an adult.
Listen.
I'm
a lot older than you. And I got more refined taste. So I got to start with 3 phaser.
I have hero versions of my favorite props. Doesn't mean I'm not.
Just because.
Mine.
Wow, are we alike?
Does all the things.
We need to stop this. But I think he meant a snap together enterprise model, like one of these. This is the 1/1000 scale snap together. It wouldn't be painted, obviously, because we couldn't paint it, but these are pretty quick to build.
It's nice.
But still complicated enough.
That's well done proportions, actually, considering. Although the bridge dome...
it's perfect. This is the new AMT kit.
The bridge dome looks a bit too thick at the back. Like a little bit. Nice.
Anywho, yeah. But something like that would be fun to do when we're together next, for sure.
I mean, we're planning on one this year, and that's really upsetting that we didn't get to do one. Just me go there, you come here and just like hang out, because then these lives will be even more interactive and, would be great. But, hey, it wasn't up to us. Although,
Corona gods.
Yes, but yeah, like I say, I'll do sponsored costume changes next time. That'll be really fun. And I'll have a pretty vast, if I get them tailored, but that's a good excuse to kind of get my butt out of gear, but into gear and do that, which was fun. Especially as I'm getting more drinkier, it's kind of like,
That's separation.
Oh my god.
Anyway, action pack. Sorry, we're off topic, guys. References, great.
Yeah. Although the reference shows a good idea, especially with pictures and such. Although hard to go through.
All you have to do is go through our history of videos and just say, remember this one? Yeah, we don't have to really watch any of it. We could watch maybe a minute or two of it or something to kind of get a feel.
Yeah, I think Germans actually find like clips, like little clips, which is why.
No, that'll take way too long.
I mean, each of our own list.
Just have a fun, relaxing hang.
See, that's what I mean. Like a real clip show is difficult and also fun. but also it means like trawling through more videos, you and your phone videos, you send me clips, I edit them, and then we've got to find an order for them because we can't just do them randomly. You're gonna be watching. See what I mean?
That's too much work. Don't make it so professional. Just go through the list.
Thing is, that's the 10-year anniversary. That's like fucking. That's like
that's when we'll be planning for a year ahead of time to make sure it's perfect when we get to it. It's not a week before. Oh shit, we gotta. Yeah, no.
Especially we've been getting drunk like 4 days earlier, so it's like not the best time for complex thinking. But I'd be fine to go find some more pictures. I mean, we obviously have. Actually, I could show off. So I never ended up releasing it because it wasn't quite finished. The camera raw test of you going to London. Which I did pretty much finish. It wasn't like 100% finished.
Yeah, but nobody cares.
I mean, I care. 1 second.
I know, I do too, but
yeah, you haven't seen it, have you?
No. Judge 1981, $2. Commander is talking a good game, Captain. Yes, he is. And Judge 1981 again, $2. Polar Light Snap Together Enterprise Model Kit Level 1. Yes.
But I do like the idea of having actual like Trek questions. That's kind of fun because we'll know a lot, but obviously people can butcher us if they ask, what's the production assistant for episode 4 of season 2 of Enterprise? I'm like,
no, that's too. Nobody knows that shit.
No, but they'll Google it. But obviously, like they could butcher us, or they could do fun questions. But that sounds fun.
Sylvia would have to be the moderator, reading us the questions and having the answers ready to go.
Yep. No, you're right. Absolutely, we'd have to have.
She's the one supplying our drinks, topping up the shot glasses each time.
Well, that sounds like
to be involved.
So that sounds like Dad needs to be here as well.
Drinks. There's shots. Anybody can do shots.
Now that sounds like Dad needs to be here. So we have and actually, you've still got 2 webcams, haven't you?
Yeah, I got a few webcams.
Yeah, because if we had a 4-person LCARs, so I'd be here, Dad's here, 1 cam on him, 1 cam on me, and then actually it's like dedicated because it's like a 4-person. That'd be kind of fun.
Why would your dad be there though?
Because then he could feed questions, so you could take in turns. Him and Sylvia take turns reading out questions from the chat.
No, we'd have to be together in the same room.
I thought this was the anniversary one.
There'd be 1 camera on both of us, and 1 camera above or camera above to see the table and the pieces.
So if the anniversary one is why we could take questions.
No, not the anniversary one. Fleet Pass Swiftback to $5.
Thank you.
How big of a super chat would it take to get both of y'all to get the Trek Yards logo tattooed on you? As much as the cost of the tattoo plus $100 for me, I would definitely get that tattooed.
£10,000.
Because he's got virgin skin and won't get a tattoo because he was exactly like I was at his age. Yes. And then I got my first tattoo when I was like 34.
If you would be nice and gave me £28,000 and I could consider it a year's salary and I could take a year less work. And I'll have a combination of I've now got a year's salary to do less work with, but also have I could ruin my supple flesh for that.
And Squadron.
But of all the things, that is not a bad thing to tattoo onto your body. A Delta that I vaguely helped design that you designed that's based on it wasn't Jeffrey's.
No, it could be the Trek Yards with the girl. That's what I would get. I wouldn't get the Delta.
So was it the Chinese guy that did the com badge did the Delta, or was it Jeffrey's? I don't think it was Jeffrey's.
Ming, whatever.
Yeah, I thought it was Delta.
Ming, I don't know.
Don't remember either.
Fleet Pass Swiftback, $5. How about? Oh, we read that one already.
He's drunk
and
already.
Danny Shields, €5. It was Derek. What was Derek?
That's probably super chat.
Judge 1981, I agree. But that's okay.
Look, I don't like tattoos. Okay.
Yes, and I was the exact same way.
Yeah.
For a long time.
You just lost your standard as time went on.
Nope. Just realized that life's short and you need to have fun and do things.
But you should also, embrace yourself.
We're not getting into this debate. Mark Lawrence, $5. Just because I actually have a breather at work at the moment to watch. Been crazy the last 2 months. Well, thank you, Mark. Good to see you.
I'm glad you're still doing work. I mean, that is obviously not everyone, so glad you are. Hope it's getting better, quote unquote. Hope it is. And guys, we're actually $3 away from a round number, so 3 more. We can probably call that a quits. Hour and a half. I've got a meeting straight after this. But that's it. Hey, you guys got us to a fun place. That's definitely nice. I'm excited. Yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm more excited about the anniversary thing. Thinking up something for that.
Yeah, I'm tempted to do a animation of the Foley meeting the horizon. That might be nice. That'll take a bit of time to do, because it's quite a complicated animation, as you can imagine. Because obviously, I might have to do like a mini like fundraiser, say, you know, like tiers, like anniversary fundraiser. Are these tiers and more shots I'll do? You know, kind of like support a Trek Girls thing. Because then obviously, like you could always voice yourself as Captain Foley. And I'm obviously, I actually have to get the guy who voices the Captain of the Horizon to voice the Captain of the Horizon. But I mean, would you guys, do a little mini fundraiser to kind of have an anniversary meeting of the two ships where we would get Stuart to record his own voice. I would try and get my Captain Horizon to voice. I'd obviously be in it as well, but
I'd like to do the motion comic at some point.
Yeah, but seriously, I mean, if there's a couple of $100, would you guys put in a few bucks to see very much our two legacies meeting? I mean, Stuart, you do have a TOS outfit, so theoretically we could actually green screen you onto the bridge by using your TV as a green screen, as I've said before. That is doable,
You have drawn my attention. How much super chat for Cap to show us his current tattoo?
Yeah, what tattoos have you got then?
I only have one. Designed it myself, and it's got a meaning to it. So, anyway, I would say $20. $20.
Is it on your John Thomas?
It is not.
Is it on your Rob Stewart?
No.
Is it on your Benedict Franklin?
Possibly. Judge 1981, $5. Take my money and get the commander a water on tattoo that goes away after a shower. Yeah, that worked.
That I could super chat. That we could do. Just like stick them on. Okay, I got it, guys. $20.
Danny Shields, €5. What are your dream scenarios for episode 1 of Discovery season 3?
Good question.
That's a whole lead up to Discovery season 3 live. We're not going to talk about that now.
That's a really. We'll credit you, and that's a great question, because there is things you could do, for sure, for sure.
Fleet Pass Swiftback, $20. Show it Foley. Okay, I'm gonna have to change my shirt.
Well, that's brilliant. So Danny, I'll tell you. Dream scenario for episode 1 Discovery. I would say you get a scene where, and I'm quite clever with this stuff. You get Burnham coming through, landing on the planet. And she's like, we've seen the treasure. Like, oh my god, what's happening? And then she scans and she finds a research outpost. And she walks right into it, it's deserted. Oh, that was quick. Well, okay, there you go. You get the tease, but you don't get anything else.
All right, so Fleet Paw. There it is.
Oh.
So it's a sword, basically killing a demon, which... There's a long story behind it. Anyway, drew it myself and got it tattooed, and yeah. So
makes you think of the Thundercats logo for some reason.
Wow.
Although that would actually be kind of funny though if we had done a live where I have like a bit like 50 rub-on tattoos. So each one I'd be forced to tattoo myself with. So if someone hates tattoos, like, how many can I have on by the end of it? Everywhere. That could be quite a fun live. Like, everyone in the body is up for grabs, and the higher the super value, the lower. Or the, draw a nipple tattoo, $20 if that works. I'll have to keep the room quite cold because body heat and all that, I'm sure. But I mean, that could be a thing, tattoo me, and then Stuart just does whatever the hell he wants. I don't know what he would do. Take pictures of me as he is a...
And Craig Smith says, I'll pay $25 for the tattoo, never to make an appearance again. LOL. Well, then pay $25, otherwise you're going to see it again someday.
Now he's threatening a free tattoo.
List of Jericho Night Stalker tattoo. Yeah, I had one design that said Night Stalker, but yeah, the good old days. Danny Shields, €5. Daniels is first face commander.
I think I know what you mean. Yeah, that'd be cool if she met Daniels. I mean, that'd be a great way of starting off, to be fair, bring him back. That'd be brilliant. I didn't even consider that. I mean, hey, Discovery Season 3 they could start with canon. They could start with canon.
They're not gonna.
No, they're not. Obviously.
Stop. Just stop. Don't even get our hopes up. Don't even suggest that it might be a possibility.
Yeah.
Because now I'm like excited that maybe there's way to go. Way to go.
Yeah.
I'm going to definitely be disappointed.
The key for Discovery is lower the expectations, just like Last Jedi broke the expectations. Lower them and just enjoy it as what it is. Don't think it's going to be good as Trek. Don't think it's going to be a good show.
Lower Decks stations.
Yes, and that's a good point. Don't think of this show as Lower Decks. Like, don't even compare it to Lower Decks. Think of this as the weird cousin that no one really likes for what it is. You know, they're a nice person, but they're not very good in the family. Like, you know. Like, don't compare them because it's not a fair comparison.
Fleetpaw Swiftback, $2. Nip tats hurt Sam, just like nip piercings.
Well, yes. Like I said, there'd be, you know, peel off ones or whatever the thing would be. Sounds great. Sounds great.
Well, I think that's a good place to leave it. I'm looking forward to, and like I said, guys, on the Trek Yards Facebook page, there is a Q&A thing to ask Captain Foley a question. Because I'm getting back into my captain's logs, and I want to start with a Q&A. You have until Friday to ask it on there, and then I will do a video, fully edited captain's log thing, not alive, where I address all those, and I think it'll be fun to kind of get me back into this, the procedure
swing
and the swing of things, if you will. So go check it out. Ask a question on there. It can be anything. It doesn't have to be Star Trek related. So
in fact, it shouldn't be. Like, have some fun with it. You know.
And even if you want to suggest on that post what we should do for our anniversary on the 14th of October, which thank you, Judge 1981, for reminding me about that. We'll consider it because we will do something. Because it is a break between Lower Decks and Discovery. It's not much of a break, but it's a little bit.
And guys, $1.99, one more dollar, and we're at a good place. That rounds up, and 3 more likes is $1.20. So that would be good for sure. Let's do that. And of course, the
last super chat slot, guys.
Oh, it's true.
Just $1. That's all we need.
Yeah, just one more. And guys, just quickly, if you would you guys be interested in supporting for a special Trek Yards animation where Foley meets Horizon? You know, the epic meeting of minds, and you know, like if it gets some funding, maybe it could even be a regular thing, like a bit more of the story told each year, etc. Could be kind of cool. Because I I have Horizon, I have a Foley, I don't know how. Well, I mean, I rendered it for here. How far did I get with that?
It's right below Stargate Atlantis there.
Yeah, there's 2, isn't there? Yeah. I have to do. I did a decent conversion work. I have to do them at the Bassards because the Bassards aren't very good, but that's more me than you. Well, having just redesigned a Dreadnought, it's funny to see how the same yet different we are. That's funny. Your saucer dip's different to the one we did. I like your. Yeah, that's it. But yeah, guys, would you support? Because that could be kind of fun. You know, I'd like to see it, but then it takes a bit of time to make, so can't just do it. Got some other works to do. Yeah,
that's the thing, and all this bonus stuff takes time away from what we normally do for you guys. So.
And the irony being, like, I really should be starting to re-edit the buffer of content for Saturdays.
Exactly.
But obviously, special things equal time, which goes away from the normal stuff, but you get a special thing. So it's kind of like a lose-lose in a sense. But obviously, it's cool, and I would love to see. Like I said, I would love to see. I'm sure I could get Chris to record something, which would be really cool. To actually have, although a bit anticlimactic. Like Stuart gets to act against Chris. I'm not Captain Horizon. I'm an ensign in Convergence and a Lieutenant Junior Grade Nil one. So you wouldn't even talk to me, Stuart. You'd be the ship. I just wouldn't be there properly.
You could be the commander of the ship.
I can't. I'm not old enough. Doesn't work.
No, you got to be commander. Otherwise, we're not doing any animations.
Well, then I've got to be future me.
It's got to be the dynamic we have. And we talked about that with the motion comics.
Yes, I know.
Exactly what you were going to be.
I'd never ship though. It was the other ship, but I actually got a Horizon cannon though.
No. You can't do that. Sorry, you're wrong. You can't use the Horizon then. Anyway,
bitch.
List to Jericho. I'm still up for funding a Picard finale remaster.
Oh yeah. Well, in fact, actually, Mark Bell from Star Trek Continues, who's doing a lot of great models, has just Patreon, like the poll came in. He's now doing a full high-res build of the end of season 1 Picard ship. Tobias did the one from Star Trek 9, which is much better. I talked to him during it and encouraged him on certain details in a small way, but like, please Tobias, please do these things. But Mark's going to make another version, so if that becomes available to me, that would certainly make it so he can actually, Shane Hay can actually make an appearance in if he did animation, which would be kind of cool. Then you could see all these ships put together, which you couldn't see otherwise. So that's actually kind of cool.
Danny Shields, though, €5. Have for good measure.
Thank you.
Season 3 of Disco has to open with on an O'Brien statue.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
And Squadra Course, $2. Last, take it if you can.
But I think
the last super chat slot. So he just challenged you all to take it if you can. So.
And Judge 1981, it'd be like a
so if you can take it,
it'd be a thing on the Facebook. I don't know how I'd do it because it'd be a public one, but be something fun. Because it'd definitely be nice to see that. I mean, we talked about seeing the Foley in action for a while, but again, it's like well, I wonder. I don't talk about it, but it'd be fun to see the scale of the two. Because yours is more bulky, but mine's a lot longer, I'd assume. Oh, shut up! Which is actually, no, you are more bulky and I am taller. So, for what it's worth, that is somewhat representative.
Wow. That would take a lot of super chats to see for that comparison. Anywho, we're going to call it there. Squadra Course has the last super chat.
Well.
Squadra Course has the last super chat.
£28,000. You'll see a scale comparison.
From the top and the side.
Orthographic, guaranteed, no money back. We'll hire a special camera for it.
In regular cruise configuration and attack configuration. Anyway, on that note, let's call it good. Talk to you guys later.
Have a great rest of the day. See you guys tomorrow. Bye, everyone.